Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, I'll be doing a review of this Robot Spirits RGM-79R GM2. This is the GM from Zeta Gundam with the Ballute pack. Ballute. Should I look up how to pronounce that? But I think we all know, except me. All right, and you know what? I was lucky enough to have this just delivered just now. Shout out to Hobby Genki. That's where I pre-order when I can. And, you know, I have the other Robot Spirits from this line, so we could do some comparisons. But let's start by getting this thing open. This is always a fun aspect of it. And there we go. We have the instructions, which are very helpful for me. You know what? This actually looks bigger than normal. Or is it just me, people? Let me know down below. Big pictures so I can figure out what's going on. Okay, let's get this out of the plastic here. There's a lot that seems to be going on here. All right, and yeah, let's just take out the GM, or the GM. I'm still gonna go with GM. Okay, but just holding this, looking at it, I'm such a fan of the Robot Spirits for anime, so it's almost unfair. But this thing is just so cool. It's just another GM variant to have, and it's in its colors. So to get a little more specific, this is an A.E.U.G version, right? And from before, we had the Federation version that had been released. And you know, I don't know, and we can look at it real quick, if there are any major differences. You know, it's mainly that this release, again, the colors represent A.E.U.G, comes with some extra accessories. This one seems to be just the same, really. You know, something I didn't notice before. Did I not really pay attention to this and totally forgot? The bottom little knee area moves. That's, did I just totally overlook that? All right, and we're familiar with the articulation, as we saw that little neat engineering in the knee, and then there's a few other things going on here. When it comes to like the GMs and the Robot Spirits line, these things are usually pretty well engineered for articulation. You've got the chest piece. Oh, look at that arm coming out. Look at that. It's like unnecessary, but you can pull off probably crazy random anime stuff. Like seriously, look at this shoulder engineering. It's like nothing you'd see coming from Hasbro or anything. Not that that's realistic, but depending on camera positioning, right? Depending on where you're positioning the camera, what might be in front or behind, that might help give some cool dynamic poses. And then let's take a little up-close shot of the helmets here, and I think they're pretty much the same. Man, I love this design. I mean, you see this stuff carried over through things like Halo and all that, you know, this sort of design that came from the original Gundam. Love the look of the GM. As for accessories, we've got plastic piece here that does something. I'm sure we'll find out soon. This one for sure, for the shield itself, and it also has a little handle on there. We've got GM gun. We'll put that there. We've got beam saber. We've got the hand tree for the various hands that this has. You know, curious to see if it has anything unique that might go with this design. So this is a neat dynamic hand for sure. I love that there's kind of these multiple styles of dynamic hands to do different things. Not that you do need them, but it's great that they add them. I mean, that kind of goes along with this ver anime look. And now for the main event of this release, and that's this Ballute pack here with, I guess, stuff that I put on the mobile suit, and we'll look at the instructions to make sure I'm doing that correctly. But that's cool. And then finally, some of my favorite is effect parts. We've got thruster, we've got beam saber, and beam blast. Very cool. Okay, so we're getting closer to the main event, and before we do that, I kind of want to look in the instructions real quick. Oh, look, articulation, thank you. So we know all of the articulation this has, which is cool. I like the wrist thing because they're still on ball joints, right? But it has the, yeah, because you can move it around on a ball joint, but it still has that wrist movement that comes in. Wasn't there, that's right. Speaking of Zeta busting out the metal build, this had articulation that I didn't care for because it's on a swivel on the wrist instead of a ball joint, but it has one part of articulation, very limited, to move forward. So kind of interesting that the robot spirits has the better articulation. But again, that metal build is metal, but then there are metal robot spirits, so I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, and opening this up to get a little more of a look at, plugging in the effect parts, where the beam saber goes. We have effect parts for the gun. The attachment piece, that little plastic, goes on the gun to go on the back. That could have been on that previous release. And then shield effect part for the shield. And then here we go with, for some more effect parts here for like the feet, optional effect parts, hand tree. And now we're getting into this Ballute pack here, which, yeah, let's do it. All right. We have Jim here. Why am I calling him Jim? You know why. We've got that going on. Let's get this first piece right. And it's supposed to just connect. Let me zoom in a little more to see, as we're doing this, if it makes sense. Very interesting, because it's not like necessarily pieces that connect. You just have to kind of fit it on. Okay, so like above the cockpit, there's a little spot there. Okay, and that sort of just clicked in and it felt good. Okay, that was easy enough. And now we've got pieces for the legs. 2 pieces. Do they look different where there's a left and a right? I'm so used to that with especially Mobile Suit Ensemble, where the pieces are actually nearly identical, but there's just a small little thing. And no, they seem to be the same. Just drop that. All right. This inside has a piece. Oh, there's a lot of little pieces, actually. This should move down. All right. Do I have to use tweezers for this? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That was a little tough. I had to use tweezers, but I mean, it's not really a big deal. And then there's a piece to lose. So we're taking this off and trying to find somewhere safe to put it. Do I have the nails to take this off? Okay. Kind of a pain in the butt, but I think if you get it with your nail, and it looks like I just did a little damage on my nail just then to do it. Just kind of like pull it off. That's kind of weird, but they've done that before. And then look how tiny that is. My gosh, I could lose that. I mean, I'm afraid to even just put it back in the plastic and I'm going to lose it. Okay, but with that out of the way, we can plug this in. I'm pretty sure. Okay, that kind of went in. Does it just stick out? Yeah, it looks like, according to instructions, it just sticks out after that. So let's do this other side, and let's see if I can do it easily. I have nails. Okay, there we go. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Even this part, I have nails, but can't dig in unless I get the tweezers to help pull that out. And then plug that in. All right, there we go. We're getting this transformer transformed. Okay, flip this around. Multiple things going on. We open this. And it looks like there's another piece here that comes off. Another piece to lose. We'll put that in the plastic tray. All right, and this is the back. All the little connectors and everything to keep it solid, I guess. Oh, no, it looks like I should move this little thing upwards. And these are down. Okay, let's plug in. Interesting, and I guess it has to do with the articulation, but it's fine. Like, you can almost make this seem too tall, but you got to like push it back in to then get this in, which is completely fine. But just a word of warning or just something to look out for. But that is cool. Check this out. I am digging this. All right, and then we got these tubes, which are not identical. Okay, there's some differences. One is for one side, one's for the other. So let's see. Okay, it looks like the bigger part plugs into the backpack, and then the smaller into the front pack. Okay, same thing with the other side. And it looks like you might want to give an extra push. Once you think you get it in there, you can actually push it in a little more. And there we go. I love that. And we just like transformed this into a Zaku. Okay, and it looks like there's more going on here, as I see in the instructions here. So we can take this off. So, it's all in Japanese, and I can't get it, except for the word stage. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what that means. That's where you plug in the stand, and this isn't JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is a stand for a Gunpla, a robot spirits. Not only that, but I guess for its Balluteness, it would pop this stuff out. And there you go. Very interesting. And it looks like, it has peg holes, sure, for this, but could there be something else that comes out later? to plug that into. All right, let's look at some of the effect parts. For instance, we've got the front thrust, which is pretty cool. And, you know, with all of the thruster parts I have, it would be so fun plugging them all in. Now, I got to say, as I was just kind of looking for other thruster parts to plug in, I noticed there's a slight articulation right here on this leg thruster. But also, it seems like there's something going on here. And actually, let me pull this out. It looks like there's a whole other piece that could, come down, and then this would move up. I don't know. It's not necessarily explaining the instructions what that is for, unless it has something to do with, and that, oh yeah, that does plug in there. So both sides are the same. I don't know. Is it something from Zeta that I forgot about that it can do? Just because there's multiple pieces in here. There's this thing that tends to slide, and then we've got, the peg that comes out. So there must be more to this. And it could be like we see with the Mark II, how there's an area in the back that you can pull off a piece to put something there. This is most likely for when that G Defender comes out. I don't know if that's going to come with a Mark II or it's going to be a separate release. All right, I'm going to plug this back in. Okay, here we go. Just kind of set up maybe as I will have it set up on my shelf, my Zeta shelf. Having all the backpack functions plugged in, having the rifle. Let's even plug in that effect part for fun. Shooting the blast. Luckily, this doesn't really add any noticeable weight to the figure at all. Even the backpack. It seems like I can just stand them up pretty good. That's pretty nice. Let's compare this to the other robot spirits in this Veranime line from Zeta. Obviously, we saw the other GM. They're pretty much the same. We kind of looked at that and figured out they are the same. And taking a look at my favorite, the Mark II. Just my favorite, just a badass. Look at this. I know this is about the GM, but we've got the rocket. We've got the gun attached to the side. Got some extra ammo. I love everything about this release. All right, why not plug in the shield? All right, got the shield plugged in too to kind of finalize that look. But how long would a GM be wearing this getup and actually fighting, right? I feel like this is just for getting into battle. But there you have it. That's a look at the A.E.U.G GM2 Robot Spirits Veranime, just another Robot Spirits action figure in the Veranime Zeta line, which is my favorite. I'm loving that we're getting a lot of Zeta stuff. Can't wait to put this on my shelf. But what about you? What do you think about this release? I think it's nice to get this sort of anime-accurate sort of situations that occur within Zeta, as it is probably my favorite Gundam property. And yeah, just to be able to have these scenes recreated on my shelf, it just seems so awesome. And is there a high grade of this system? I'm curious, actually. I haven't looked. When I know that these things come out as Robot Spirits, I just don't really bother with the Gunpla. But let me know what you think below. And shout out to all the supporters that make this possible. Check the links in the description if that's something you're interested in. And while you're down there, check the link to our Discord. We have a lot of fun there, actually sharing news about Robot Spirits releases, showing off our poses. But we don't leave out the Gunpla, so there's still, a lot of stuff in there. If you want to show off your builds, work in progress, ask for tips, showcase to show off your Gunpla. It's fun to do that in the Discord. But that's it for now. So until then, everyone, be cool. We'll see you.